ladies. Today we are talking about the benefits of being a stay-at-home wife. So this is like a big deal today, I guess. I don't really know. I had recently posted a reel on being a stay-at-home wife and it went viral and I was shocked about it. It was like a dumb little quick video that I did with my dog at the time, and I was just talking about how my obedience allowed me to become a stay-at-home wife. When I left a business, met my husband, and then now I just ended up here. And it wasn't something that I ever dreamed about, it was just something that happened. I was pretty shocked with the results of the video because it opened my eyes to see how many women actually desire to be a stay-at-home mom, or a stay-at-home wife specifically, because I don't have any kids, so I'm literally a stay-at-home wife with no kids. I just thought that was interesting. So I'm like kind of digging into why women want to be stay-at-home wives, and as a stay-at-home wife myself, realizing the slow lifestyle of it, but how much work you do have to put in. I do see why some women would want to be stay-at-home wives, especially if they're tired of, working a corporate job or leaving the home, or not feeling like they have enough time for themselves to nurture their bodies, to feel secure in themselves when it comes to maybe like the way their home looks, or like a lot of women kind of sometimes identify with their home, which I don't think is good. But in the meantime, we're just going to talk about 5 benefits of being a stay-at-home wife, and I'm going to start with the first one, being undivided attention with God. So every morning, it's really nice to not have to leave somewhere and rush somewhere, knowing that I might be sacrificing my time with God. If that was the case, then I would probably have to get up earlier. But as a stay-at-home wife, you don't really have to do that. Now, I force myself to get up early sometimes. It's not something I always did. I was not an early morning person, but my husband kind of inspired me to be an early morning person. So sometimes I'll wake up between like 6 to 8 a.m. and I get up, and the first thing that I do is spend time with God. Undivided attention, no kids, no distractions, and just able to have that time with God and not worry about having to be somewhere by a certain time and then sacrifice that time with God. So I think that is the number one and probably one of the best benefits of being a stay-at-home wife, is that first early morning undivided attention with the Lord. You can be in prayer, praying for family, praying for your country, praying for your husband who is not home, and anything else that you can think of when it comes to your time with God. The second benefit of being a stay-at-home wife is availability. And what I mean by this is if you have like a family member that calls you up and they're like, hey, I really need your help, then you are available to go do that. Now, there are some factors, obviously. If you don't have 2 cars, that might be a little bit of a problem, which is kind of how we are at the moment. But when my husband was home and I was still a stay-at-home wife, I was able to go do those things. Like if anyone would call me up, maybe they need help moving, or maybe they want me to organize something for them, then I was just available to go serve at any time, any day, whenever I would like. And it was a benefit to them and me because I get to get out of the house, right? And then also availability, like if somebody is sick, for example, my friend Lindsay, who I love so much, we actually met online through like a ministry post a few years back. I was really sick and my husband works, and she's also a stay-at-home wife, but God bless her, she just got her first job in real estate coming up, so I hope she doesn't mind me sharing that. She came to literally take care of me when I was sick because my husband was not here, and the only reason she was able to do that was because she was a stay-at-home wife. They had 2 cars and she was available to come take care of me. She made me soup, she bought me all my like feminine products that I needed. She did my laundry, she did my dishes, like she was just able to take care of me. So I think if you do desire to be a stay-at-home wife, it's really important to see being a stay-at-home wife as a kind of ministry in the times where you are able to serve people, and don't just see being a stay-at-home wife as something you just get to do in terms of sitting around and actually doing nothing all day. Like, don't think being a stay-at-home wife entails you sitting and watching your favorite shows all day and eating your favorite bag of chips. Like, that is not what it is. It's actually a lot of work. It takes a lot of intentionality to not feel unproductive and those types of things. So that is number 2, being available to serve in any circumstance that you can, even if it's in your community. The third benefit to being a stay-at-home wife is self-care. As a woman, we don't feel our best if we're not taken care of physically, and we want to make sure like our nails look good, our hair looks good, that we just feel good, we feel clean, we don't feel neglected, that we're able to just keep up with our hygiene. I would hope that that's something that you do as a woman, right? Being a stay-at-home wife really gives you the time to do that, because we can spend an hour or so doing our nails, or even if it's little stick-ons, and just putting on a certain type of environment in our home that we like to be in personally, whether it's reggae music, which is what I like, worship music, which I also like, whatever type of music you like to put on, and just being able to create an environment for yourself that you really enjoy in your own home while taking care of your body. Also, for example, I struggled with endometriosis, and because of that, it actually comes in the way of, if I were to have a full-time job, I would probably be fired, because I cannot actually be there when I'm having my flare-ups or my episodes. And because I am a stay-at-home wife, I can properly take care of my body in those times when I need to. And what that looks like is making the bath really nice, taking my time, not feeling rushed, or like I can't do it because I have to be somewhere the next day or the next morning, whatever it may look like. And I can just sit in the bath for as long as I need to, take a nap, and rest my body properly. Yeah, self-care, like proper rest for a woman, I think is extremely powerful and a necessity to a woman, because our hormones are so different. And I feel like men don't necessarily have the types of hormones us women have. We have different phases and cycles, in the way that we feel is different throughout every single week. And we need to properly make sure that we understand ourselves and take care of ourselves for that week. Self-care can also look like learning how to eat certain types of foods, which brings me into my next benefit of being a stay-at-home wife. Number 4 is educating yourself about things like nutrition. So overall, it's education, but you don't want to waste away your time as a stay-at-home wife by not learning anything. Like I said, it's not for you to just sit around and watch your favorite shows, but it is for you to educate yourself. You have more time on your hands to learn things that your husband doesn't have the time to learn. And so if you're learning a certain skill set and he's away at work and not able to learn those things, he's able to come back home to you, and you can teach him those things in a condensed amount of time as best as you can. And another example for me is nutrition. Like, I really wanted to learn about foods, and things take time to learn. So for a whole year and a half, I learned everything about toxic ingredients, foods I should eat and shouldn't eat, things about inflammation and herbs and all these types of things that I can still learn so much more about. But I was able to completely switch out our entire diet by having the time as a stay-at-home wife to actually intentionally educate myself about these things. So that is something that you would be able to do as a stay-at-home wife. So just think about all the things you wish you had time to learn right now, or to educate yourself on about right now that you don't have the time for. Those are all the things that you would do as a stay-at-home wife. You always want to make sure that you're productive, learning something, growing in a certain area, and being able to benefit not only you, but your husband and your home. You can be educating yourself about how to upkeep a home, how to clean properly. I didn't think cleaning was going to be such a big deal, but cleaning a home is such a big deal. And it's great to look at cleaning your home as something that's also a ministry. It's stewardship. It's something that is given to you by God, that you are a manager of, and that you get to care about and love on properly as a gift that God gave. And I love that, and I think it helps with the mundane and the mentality of, oh, I just really don't want to do this right now. When we look at it through a different lens, and like, well, I'm so grateful that I actually have a home to clean, or I have a space to clean, I have a space to make my own, then that can be a huge mindset shift for a stay-at-home wife. Number 5 is creativity. And these are all points that I learned on my journey. Again, it was not a dream of mine to be a stay-at-home wife. I never once had this dream on like a vision board or anything like that, saying, God, I just wish that one day I can be a stay-at-home wife. That's not what it was. It's just how the circumstances ended up, and I learned to grow with it, and I learned things about myself and how to be disciplined and how to just be productive and intentional with my life. And not even just for me, but with my husband, which could be a whole nother topic of how to take care of your husband as a stay-at-home wife. But yeah, creativity. So because you have so much time, you have the advantage to tap into your creative side, which we all have. God is a creator. He created us to create. And so because we have all that time to hone into and really be like, what do I like? What do I not like? What am I actually good at? What am I drawn to? Do I want to make candles? Do I want to make lip gloss, which I do as my faith-based brand? Do I want to draw? Do I want to paint? Like, can paint be a form of worship? Can my drawing be a form of worship? Like, what does it look like to be creative? Like, how can I serve my current community through my creativity? And I also believe that we were born to create. I believe that when we're not creating, that we just feel like we are not all the way there. Like, a lot of us don't feel purposeful because we're not actually being creative, and we are creative beings. So how can we not be something that we are and feel fulfilled in that? So creativity, it's huge as a stay-at-home wife, especially when you're bored and you want something to do. It can be a hobby, it can turn into a business, and then you can profit off of that while also serving people that you know, love, and people that know, love, trust you, that are getting to know you through your brand, or even just people, like, if you're not really on social media but you're still running into this video, you don't have to be like a huge social media person to tap into your creativity and then make it into a business. There are so many places that you can do pop-ups, you know, with whatever you're making, and you can go into different cities and have these pop-ups and be creative with cards that you make or however you want to market your business. But I believe that that's still nice, because if you're fulfilled with it, you're fulfilled with it. I don't believe everything has to be huge to be purposeful. It just has to be intentional with your creativity. Maybe you find a way to glorify God with it. I mean, your creativity alone is glorifying God as long as it's not evil. When my husband was home, when he was working from home, he felt his best when he was also creating, because that's what we are created to do. I would say those are my 5 top benefits to being a stay-at-home wife. So to summarize, we have undivided attention to God, we have availability, we have self-care, creativity, and education. So let me know what you guys think in the comments, what you think would be beneficial to being a stay-at-home wife, or maybe any questions you have about being a stay-at-home wife. If you are already a stay-at-home wife, or even if you desire to be one, what questions you would have when it comes to that topic, and I will be here to help you out. So other than that, I hope you guys have an amazing day, and of course, I'll be talking to you soon.